Trump threw a new wrinkle into his plans to rescind the deferred action for childhood arrivals. The president said he will revisit the issue in 6 months if Congress does not act. Earlier, the president ended the Obama administration protection for young people brought to this country illegally by their parents. Tonight, our Maya Sain scored a one-on-one interview. She spoke with the top legal official in Nebraska, and she's live with details. Maya.
Yep, Craig, Attorney General Doug Peterson says his stance doesn't have to do with Dreamers themselves, but solely his belief that the DACA executive order implemented by President Obama in 2012 is unconstitutional.
Such an open-ended circumvention of immigration laws.
Hours after Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced President Trump was eliminating DACA, Nebraska Attorney General Doug Peterson told me he was hoping for this announcement.
So I know this is a very emotional issue, but what I'm trying to stress is, look, we can't give the president this much power using executive orders, because if you do, it takes out of the balance of power.
Peterson said his stance on DACA is not against Dreamers, but on President Obama's executive order on DACA that expanded law, which he says is unconstitutional.
It's inappropriate for me to take the oath of office and then look at what I see as clearly unconstitutional and say, well, politically it would probably hurt me, I need to let it go, or politically it will favor me. I can't play that game. I have to be consistent in upholding the law.
Over much criticism to include Nebraska and his own signature on the 10-state coalition to sue the administration if DACA wasn't rescinded, Peterson said just as his constituents hold him responsible, it's up to him to hold Congress responsible.
I think what's the effect of what we as Attorney Generals did in this particular case is we made it very clear that Congress, this is your responsibility. You can't shirk it. You can't simply say, well, the executive order covers it, because our Constitution never allowed for that. The Constitution specifically says that Congress has a responsibility for all laws related to immigration.
Peterson says he's done his role, and now it's up to Congress to create a permanent solution for Dreamers.
This issue has always been with Congress, and Congress needs to take all the stories that people are talking about that I'm very well aware of, and they need to address it by legislation.
I also asked Attorney General Peterson if he thought his stance on DACA would have any impact on his re-election bid next year. I'll have his answer and more from our interview on our website, 3newsnow.com. Reporting live from the studio, Maya Sain, 3 News Now.
About 200 people showed they support DACA at the state capitol today. Representatives from organizations like Nebraska Appleseed and Justice for Our Neighbors, along with student groups from UNO and UNL, spoke about the positive impact of the DACA program on the state. They also urged DACA recipients to get legal counsel. Nebraska Dreamers emotionally spoke about how their futures are now up in the air.
I just hope Congress and the people of the United States come together and fight for us and join us in the journey. And because in the end, we're just all humans.
The impact is far-reaching. According to the Center of American Progress, Nebraska will lose $150 billion in gross domestic product if Dreamers were removed from the workforce.
Clergy are weighing in. Creighton President Father Dan Hendrickson reaffirmed the Jesuit University's support for DACA students. Also, Omaha native Cardinal Blaise Cupich of the Chicago Archdiocese said this: in the past, the president stated the Dreamer story is about the heart, yet today's decision is nothing short of heartless. Last year, I traveled to Chicago and interviewed Cardinal Cupich. He emphasized the need for social justice when it comes to dealing with people of all types in this country.
There are a lot of people who just feel as though they don't count. And justice can be a matter of helping people find a place at the table. And so we have to look for ways in which I said, even the playing field.
Nebraska Taxpayers for Freedom is glad the president rescinded DACA. NTF President Doug Kagan says in a statement, illegal alien youth have taken jobs from lawful Nebraska citizens, burden our public schools, and increase the cost for taxpayers through their use of our health care and welfare systems. Omaha Mayor Jean Stothert says otherwise. She issued a statement saying DACA has created opportunities for education, employment, and service to our community and state. I remain supportive of the program.
So what's next for Dreamers? With Congress back in session, the clock has begun ticking. Mola Lange reports from the White House.
Late Tuesday, President Trump publicly defended his decision to end DACA before passing the buck to Congress.
I have a love for these people, and hopefully now Congress will be able to help them.
The Obama-era program granted deportation protections to an estimated 800,000 people brought illegally to the U.S. as children. Earlier in the day, Attorney General Jeff Sessions formally announced plans to wind it down, citing constitutional concerns.
If we are to further our goal of strengthening the constitutional order and the rule of law in America, the Department of Justice cannot defend this overreach.
The president is giving lawmakers 6 months to possibly save DACA, but is urging them to tie it to overall immigration reform. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan expressed hope, not certainty, that Congress will find consensus so that those who have done nothing wrong can still contribute as a valued part of this great country. Democrat Dick Durbin and Republican Lindsey Graham called on colleagues to pass the DREAM Act. The measure would allow immigrant students to apply for legal status and potentially gain citizenship if they go to college or serve in the military.
They have no other country other than America. They're no more connected to their home country than I am to Scotland, where my grandfather came from.
In a statement posted on Facebook, President Obama added his voice to the debate, calling President Trump's decision self-defeating and cruel. Mola Lenghi, CBS News, the White House.
One other note tonight, the president is expected to meet at the White House tomorrow with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, and DACA will likely come up.